is Lauren Kimball for ANI 125, and today we are going to go over how to export your animations out of toonboom Harmony as a QuickTime MOV. Now, earlier in the semester we talked about my turn-in expectations for the class, namely that I expect a very specific naming convention as well as file format, QuickTime MOVs. Now, in class, when we tried to export an MOV, we ran into an issue, namely that the MOV settings, movie settings, would not operate on the campus computers. The reason for this, I've come to find out, is that Apple is no longer going to be updating its QuickTime for PC anymore. So the only way to actually access QuickTime as an app on a PC running Windows is if you are running an older version, which leaves some security issues. That said, I still want QuickTime files, and there is a way to export MOVs without having QuickTime or running into any security issues. And how to do that is, instead of exporting as a movie, we're going to export as an image sequence. Now, before we do that, you need to go to the desktop and create a new folder called, well, for this example, I'm exporting exercise 2, so exercise to image sequence. Oh, ex to. Ugh. There we go. Okay, I'll set that folder aside. And then, after I've checked to make sure that my animation is running just the way I want it to, I'm going to go to File, Export, Images, and this window will pop up. Prefix is EX02, and I'm going to put a little dash in there so that when the number sequences start popping up, there will be kind of a little space between the prefix and those image numbers. I'm going to go to the path, I'm going to go to my desktop, and I'm going to find that image sequence folder and press choose. That way, all the images that I'm exporting out of toonboom Harmony will pop into that folder. All the other presets are fine. I have it, the timeline, I have it capped right where I want it to end. If you didn't, you could specifically put in frames that you want to export, but right now the time range of all frames is fine. Press OK. Now, once the little rendering box that popped up there briefly goes away, I'll be able to go into my image sequence folder, and there are all those lovely images. Now, once I have that, I'm going to want to access a software package called Adobe Media Encoder. And it's this little purple icon on my computer. At the campus, you can just type in under the search bar Encoder and it'll pop up. If you want to use this at home, there's a 30-day free trial on the Adobe website. Alternatively, there's a student license that you can get at a cheaper, reduced rate. Highly recommend investing in it because the Adobe Suite is something that you'll utilize for most of your classes. Alright, that said, over here, this Media Encoder is basically the same render queue that you're going to see in After Effects or Premiere Pro. It's just standalone when it comes to this software. So I can ignore most of these windows. I'm only going to be really focused on what's going on here in the queue window. There's a plus sign up here in the upper left-hand corner. Go ahead and click that, and it's going to ask you where the source is that you want to import. So I'm going to go ahead and go to my desktop, Image to Sequences, and find my very first frame. So make sure that you are definitely clicking on that first frame, sort by name, make sure that it's exercise 2, frame 1, and press open. And that is going to create a nice little film strip of your animation. Now, underneath this are 3 options. The first one asks what you want to export as, in this case a QuickTime. And once I've made that selection, the second link, the second blue option box, is going to ask what kind of encoding or settings, presets, do I want for that QuickTime. In this case, I want HD 720p 24, H.264, etc. Basically what I would have asked toonboom to export if it were so capable. And then I'll go over here and click on the Save As, and this is where I can put in my naming convention, last name underscore first name underscore ANI 245, or sorry, 125, got my classes mixed up, underscore EX2, or exercise 2, or however. I'm going to go ahead and save it to my desktop so it's easy to find. File format MOV, press save, and over here on my desktop, oh sorry, before anything shows up, I've got to press play. So this means start queue, and it's going to go ahead and render all the settings I pre-selected. Down here, it's going to show the encoding, and then on my desktop, there's the file. So I'm going to minimize this, right-click here, open, and play with QuickTime. Or in your case, it'd be like VCL player. Now you'll notice this thing is going crazy. Whoa. Oh, that's just because I accidentally played it too fast. Boom, 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 S-curve, S-curve. Perfect. It's got everything I requested. Alright, now I'm going to go ahead, after I've tested the file and I've made sure that the file is exactly how I want it to be, I'm going to go ahead and go over here to D2L. I'm going to go into Dropbox, go to my exercise 2 box, and press add file. And then I can drag this into the box, add, and submit. Remember to wait until the upload submission successful page pops up, because you need to make sure that you got that email confirmation that this turned in. When you step away from the page, you should get a little red circle over here in your pager that tells you, hey, you've got this receipt. Occasionally, Desire to Learn will just not save what it is that you've uploaded. Typically, if you see a little number by the Dropbox, that indicates it took what you had. But if not, you need to make sure you hold on to that receipt. Alright, so obviously this is going to be a little bit more involved when it comes to the time we need to start exporting sound out of Toon Boom. But for right now, using the Media Encoder will suffice for submitting assignments. If you have any questions, feel free to send me an email, and I'll see you in class.